Okay, so I'm going to talk about the concept of judgment in this video. Judgment is a concept that you should have lived your life by from the start, and it should have been taught to you and should have been taught in all kinds of places. It should have been mandated in all schools, for example, public schools, especially with kids, and they should understand, and, you know, kids should be influenced to live their lives by the concept of judgment. Because when I was a kid, you know, we had all these bad influences and we didn't know anything, and I didn't know how or when to argue with other people, or, you know, how a conflict would end in result. Today, at the age of 33, I'm much wiser, smarter, all kinds of things. I'm a better person than when I was younger, and I could just figure out how things are going to go from the time I start to see a conflict. But when I was a kid, I didn't embrace the concept of judgment. I didn't embrace the concept of, you know, conflict. None of these things were taught to me. I didn't know when to butt heads with another human. What do I butt heads with people over? What you basically butt heads with people over good and bad judgment. And this was never taught to me as a kid. It should be taught everywhere. You should embrace concepts like good, evil, justice, judgment, and it's taught to nobody. Probably in like no schools. Instead, they're teaching all these classes that are like a big waste of time, so that kids can just memorize information and then forget it like 2 weeks after they took the test. And you know, that's the world we live in, and that is what judgment looks like in the modern day human environment. It's not a concept that's taught to people. Kids don't know when to butt heads with another human in the human environment. What do we butt heads over? You butt heads over good and bad, and somebody else had bad judgment, so now we know we need to go into conflict with that person. And when I was a kid, none of this was taught to me, and we were just like a bunch of monkeys that were born, you know, and it just did whatever we felt like and wanted with our lives, instead of living our lives by good concepts and good principles. So in the modern day human environment, what the concept of judgment looks like is terrible. Obviously, there's somebody out there that actually wanted to be a judge and like went down this path in life of, you know, taking that super seriously. But the concept itself should have been taught to everybody. Much like I'm not a car mechanic, you didn't need to be a judge, you didn't need to be a judge to have good judgment, embrace judgment, and butt heads with other people over good and bad judgment and good and bad choices and good and bad things. You know, just like you didn't need to be a car mechanic, everybody needs to be able to operate a car, but your child and probably no children were taught about judgment and the embracing of the concept of judgment from the start of their lives. So it's really bad in the modern day human environment. People just kind of figure it out as life goes on, as they become better and smarter people. But yeah, it should be taught, mandated in all schools, everything. Kids are now embracing the concept of judgment. They're butting heads over good and bad things. Conflict is embraced. Instead of the modern day world where you just figure things out in life as life goes on. Just figure it out. Whatever hand you were dealt in life, just figure it out. Figure it out. Good and bad influences come to kids and teenagers and young adults all around the world, and they just go in any direction that you throw things in front of them. They just buy loads of good and bad ideas instead of embracing things like the concept of judgment from the start in life, and that being mandated in places like schools.